visitor stares at a painting on the first floor of the Shirley Plantation Museum. The painting hangs a bit crooked. Otherwise, it looks perfectly ordinary. The woman in the picture is Martha Hill Pratt. Can you all tell me what her name is?
Martha Hill Pratt.
All of you, one time. Martha Hill Pratt. So every time I say her name, I'll pause and I want you all to say, Martha Hill Pratt. Get me? Got me? Good! The woman in the picture is Martha Hill Pratt.
Martha Hill Pratt.
There we go. Her brother-in-law built this grand house nearly 3 centuries ago. How long is a century?
200 years.
Yes, sir. What's that?
10 years.
10 years. 10 times 10 is a century. 100 years. Good try. 100 years is a century. 10 is a decade. Members of her family still own it today. And they call Martha Aunt Pratt. They all know her painting is not ordinary at all. You see, Aunt Pratt was born at Shirley. That was a town. She lived there until she married and moved to England in the early 1700s. She left her picture, and it was hung in the bedroom in the first floor. It was a nice, sunny spot. Across the room was a big window. Outside lay grass green of the family cemetery. The painting stayed in the same place for the next 100 years or so. Generations of the family came and went, and finally, in the 1800s, the family decided to change things around. They took down Aunt Pratt's picture and put it in the attic. And that, my friends, is when the trouble started. Around midnight, the family heard a sound. It was coming from upstairs. It was a tap. The family checked the attic. Everything seemed fine. But the spooky noise didn't stop. Night after night, it continued. The family was baffled. The only thing different was Aunt Pratt's painting. Could the picture have something to do with that tapping, with that noise? They moved the picture to the 3rd floor. And the picture moved too. They tried it on the 2nd floor. And you know what they heard? Finally, they hung the painting on the 1st floor again. And that night, the house went silent. Aunt Pratt was trying to tell them something. She wanted her old spot back next to the window so she could see the cemetery. Maybe it was because she could see out the window. She could watch over her loved ones in the cemetery outside. So the family gave in to Aunt Pratt's wishes. They left the painting on the 1st floor. And there it stayed for at least 100 years. Then in 1974, Aunt Pratt's picture was moved again, this time all the way to New York City.
Oh no.
There was a display of haunted objects at Rockefeller Center. Aunt Pratt's picture was going to be a part of it. No one knew it would end up being the main attraction. The minute the painting was hung, it began to act up. It rattled against the wall. Tap, tap, tap. And then it started to swing on its hook, back and forth, higher and higher. Aunt Pratt's picture would not stay still. It wouldn't stay still at all. Crowds gathered. What in the world? Crowds gathered to see the restless painting. NBC News even ran a report about it. The people at Rockefeller Center locked the painting in a closet overnight for safekeeping. Aunt Pratt didn't like that at all. No, she didn't like that a bit. The night watchman heard a loud banging coming from the closet. He was pretty sure he heard a woman crying, too. The closet door was opened, and there lay the picture face down on the floor. Its frame was smashed. Aunt Pratt's family decided she had had enough. Once the frame was fixed, they took the picture home. And you know where they hung it?
On the first floor.
On the first floor. These days, Aunt Pratt seems happy. There's only one thing. In 2001, the first floor needed repairs. Joanna Muzard works at Shirley Plantation. She took the picture down until the repairs were done. And now, whenever Joanna goes into the museum, the paintings hang crooked until she leaves. It's just a friendly reminder from old Aunt Pratt. Leave me alone! Ah, yes. I'm glad she's not my aunt.